The body is saying this is a foreign object, we don't like it, it's covering it up. The heart is to be filled with the light of Allah. Anything else we try to put in it is a foreign object, and the heart will reject it. That's why many people live their whole life one heartbreak after another, because the heart is saying, I don't want anything but my Lord. And we keep trying to put other things inside. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. That mankind is in loss, and when you're in loss, you're going to feel alone. You're not going to feel like you're in a group. Now, this is really, really important. One of the reasons why we don't truly connect to the Quran is because we don't know Arabic, the Quranic Arabic. That's part of it. There's another reason though. When the companions were listening to the Quran from the Prophet ﷺ, they were receiving, remember we talked about it, is how you receive it? We say that? It's not about the speaker. We talk speaker, speaker, speaker. No, no. It's about the receivers. Receiver, 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 receiver. Every one of us. The companions received the Quran differently than we are receiving the Quran. They were receiving the Quran in real time. It was happening in front of them. Look, I know we know this, but do we know it? The Prophet ﷺ would be sitting there and he would go like this, and everyone would get quiet. Why? Because we've never experienced that. Imagine you'd say, get quiet, new Quran is coming down. And they would say later, oh, you know, I was there when Surah Fatiha was revealed. Wow. I was there when Surah Kahf was revealed. Whoa. Abdullah bin Masud said, Wallahi, any verse of the Quran, I can tell you where it was revealed and why it was revealed. Any verse. So they would be sitting there, and then the Prophet ﷺ would open his eyes and say, oh, you who believe. And they were feeling like Allah was speaking to them directly. And they say that when believers hear the Quran, the proper adab, manners of hearing the Quran is you have to imagine as if the Quran was being revealed and the Prophet is amongst you and he's reciting it to your heart. It's as if the Quran is coming down for you and no one else. That's real time. That's when it becomes real, when it's real time. Not when we read it as if it's some book that has, oh, it came forth. It's like Shakespeare. It's a great book that was written before. No, no, no. So when the companions would have heard Wal Asr, I'm going to give you this is how they would have made, this is a way that they could have felt. The Prophet ﷺ would have woken up, opened his eyes, not woken up, opened his eyes and said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Wal Asr, my time. Okay, now they're thinking of all this stuff about Asr. Inna l-insana lafi khusr. All mankind is in loss. Their heart would have broken in half. They would have looked up at the sky waiting for the stars to fall down. Because this verse is saying all mankind is destroyed. So they would have said, this experiment of mankind failed and Allah is about to replace us. Allah is saying you're all destroyed, all mankind. There's no exception. So they would have been broken in despair. And then the Prophet ﷺ would have recited Illa. And in that Illa, their entire hope was in that Illa.